بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. نسأل الله العزيز الغفار أن يجيرنا وإياكم من عذاب النار. اللهم اغفر لنا ولكم وتقبل منا ومنكم. نسأل الله تبارك وتعالى يجعلنا وإياكم من عتقاء رمضان، إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. ما زلنا في كلامنا عن أسماء الله تبارك وتعالى الحسنى وصفاته العلى، واليوم نلتقي مع اسم من هذه الأسماء العظيمة، ألا وهو اسم البر. اسم البر. We continue with our conversation about the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the name that we will speak about today is Al-Barr. If you were to translate, as it is the case, or subhanAllah, the habit of our brothers that are non-Arabic speaking that used to it, you get one word in Arabic, but you need a few words to really just get close to what the meaning is. Al-Barr, if you were to translate it, you'll have some the one who's subtle, kind, courteous, sophisticated, generous, many. You know that, subhanAllah, that person that when you see him, and all you see is positive things, the way he talks, the way he behaves, the way, like for example, someone, as the Prophet ﷺ was described, he was described that way. Take this attribute and multiply it by billions. Subhanallah, this is one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-Barr. Allah Azza wa Jal قد أخبر في كتابه الحكيم أن الجنة خير موعود. Allah Ta'ala has revealed to us that the best thing that the believers have been promised is what? Al-Jannah. وَالْجَنَّةُ خَيْرٌ مُنْتَهًا لِمَنْ عَبَدَ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ حَقَّ عِبَادَتِهِ. The best destination for the ones that truly worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Jannah. وَقَدْ أَخْبَرَ اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى أَنَّ أَهْلَ الْجَنَّةِ يَتَحَدَّثُونَ فِي مَا بَيْنَهُمْ. Allah Ta'ala mentioned and revealed to us that the people of Al-Jannah, they get together and they sit and they have conversations and they talk and they reminisce on what took place in the dunya, in the life of this world. Like for example, inshallah ta'ala, myself and Abu Tariq and Todd, Brother Khalid, Brother Abu Jamal, all of us, this beautiful setting here, we'll sit down, may Allah ta'ala make us from the people of Al-Jannah, we'll reminisce. Do you remember that day that you were wearing green and you holding a book? Remember that? SubhanAllah, that was a beautiful day. Do you remember that day that we did this and did that? SubhanAllah, we reminisce on what happened in the life of this world, subhanAllah. We will remember the different things that we went through, the different conversations that we had, the different good deeds that we did together, and so on and so forth.
Do you remember the day that you're teaching the names of Allah? You remember that day?
Remember that day? MashaAllah. Yes, that was a beautiful day. Every one of those days was beautiful, subhanAllah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in many places in the Quran, and this is one of them, Surah Al-Tur, يقول الله عز وجل وأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتساءلون. You find that in Surah Al-Saffat and many others. SubhanAllah, some of them, he's talking about the people of Al-Jannah, may Allah ta'ala make you and I from them. Some of them came to others and they started, either they came to each other or they faced each other. أقبل بعضهم أي تقابل بعضهم مع بعض. They faced each other, and Allah ta'ala tells us that we will be on different seats or couches or أرائك. متقابلين, will be facing each other. And subhanAllah, when you love someone for the sake of Allah Ta'ala, you face him, and you look at him when you talk to him. When you don't care about the person, you turn, you give him your side, you give him your back. But in Al-Jannah, all brothers that love each other for the sake of Allah, they face each other and they talk. SubhanAllah. So they face each other and they started يتساءلون, asking each other questions. قالوا إنا كنا قبل في أهلنا مشفقين. Ya Allah. That we, in the past, in the life of this world, when we were with our families, mushfiqeen, we had that fear and apprehension. Fear of what? Fear of the hereafter. Meaning that we lived our lives, subhanAllah, with that fear of not being from the people of Al-Jannah. And that fear pushed us to do what? Do the right things. To the righteous deeds, so on and so forth. Then he said, فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا وَوَقَانَا عَذَابَ السَّمُومِ. Ya Allah. Then Allah Ta'ala مَنَّ عَلَيْنَا.
It's a gift, man. It's a gift.
He gave us this beautiful gift. مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. Meaning that we didn't deserve it ourselves because of our deeds. هذا مَنٌّ مِنَ اللَّهِ. Allah gave us this beautiful gift. We don't deserve it, but Allah gave it to us. SubhanAllah, may Allah Ta'ala make us from the ones that will receive this gift. فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا وَوَقَانَا عَذَابَ السَّمُومِ. And He prevented us, He saved us from the punishment of as-samum, that smokeless fire of hell. نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْهَا. SubhanAllah. إِنَّا كُنَّا مِن قَبْلُ نَدْعُوهُ. Because we spent a great deal of our time before making supplication to Him. أو نعبدوه. يعني الدعاء جاء كان يعني في صيغة العبادة. الدعاء هو العبادة كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. كنا ندعوه, we used to make supplication to Him, or we used to worship Him سبحانه وتعالى. إنه هو البر الرحيم. إنه هو البر الرحيم. Verily He is البر. Al-Barr, I told you, subtle, generous, many meanings, subhanAllah. He is the one who is Al-Barr. Ar-Rahim, we saw Ar-Rahim, the merciful one. Subhanallah. Innahu huwa Al-Barr Ar-Rahim. ولم يرد اسم البر في كتاب الله عز وجل إلا مرة واحدة في هذه الآية. The name of Allah Ta'ala, Al-Barr, only came in the Quran once in this particular ayah that I mentioned. Only once. فما معنى البر؟ كلمة البر معروفة عند الناس أنها عكس البحر. البر والبحر. البر والبحر. البر is basically known to most of the people as dry land, as opposed to the sea. You have al-bar, the dry land or the mainland, and you have al-bahr is the sea. So subhanallah, ومنها تأتي كلمة البرية. البرية meaning the outdoors, the open spaces of the countryside and the forests and the woods. All of that falls under the word in the Arabic language al-barriya. كلمة تدل على اتساع الأرض واتساع الطبيعة والفضاء الواسع. It's a word that whenever you hear al-barriya, someone that speaks Arabic, al-barriya means countryside, outdoors, open spaces, all of that. Subhanallah. يطلق على المكان المتسع الذي لا تكاد ترى حدوده. البرية or البر is a place that is so vast and so big that you cannot see the horizon. مد البصر. You cannot see where it ends. You don't see the limit of it. سبحان الله. أما في الاصطلاح هذا لغة. أما في الاصطلاح idiomatically or technically في اصطلاح الشرع أو في اصطلاح تفسير اسم الله تبارك وتعالى البر، معنى هذا الاسم أنه الله عز وجل، يعني أن الله تعالى بر بعباده، أو أي يعني هذا المعنى أن له زيادة تبارك وتعالى في الاتساع في الإحسان إلى عباده وخلقه. See what the connection here? The connection is, subhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala is named Al-Barr because the way that he's good to his servants is so vast. And that's the connection. That's where the word comes from. Is it clear, brothers? Because I know in Arabic it's easy for the ones that speak Arabic to click, but is it clear? It's so vast. His mercy and the way that subhanAllah, the gifts that he gives, the bounties that he gives to his servants, they're so vast, they have no limit. This is where the connection is, subhanAllah. دائم الفضل واسع الفضل دائم المعروف تبارك وتعالى يكثر في إحسانه إلى خلقه. When he comes to giving gifts and bounties to his servants, he's limitless. He just keeps on giving. As opposed to someone, let's say someone who's a wealthy person, and let's say he's generous. There will always be a limit to what he gives. He's going to give you, and subhanAllah, he's thinking about how much he has, how much debt he can afford. He's going to, maybe if he's generous, he's going to give you 2%, 5% of what he has, whatever, and that's it. Because he's always thinking, well, I'm not going to be left with nothing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is limitless when it comes to what he subhanahu wa ta'ala gives. وهو سبحانه وتعالى بر بالجن والإنس وبالمحسن والمسيء وسبحانه بالمؤمن والمنافق. And he is, when it comes to that particular attribute, al-bar, he has that towards all of the creation, whether it's a believer, non-believer, hypocrite, he is bar with all of his creation. Look at, subhanAllah, today, you look at them, they're some of the worst of the creations of Allah. But you see that they're living in luxury, and subhanAllah, they're driving, and where they're living. Isn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bar with them? He absolutely is subhanahu wa ta'ala. ولكن هناك فرق بين بره تبارك وتعالى بعباده الصالحين وبره بالطالحين. فهو بر بالاثنين، بر بالصالح والطالح، ولكن هناك وثمة فرق شاسع سبحان الله. There's a big difference between how good he is to the believers and how good he is to the disbelievers. أما بره بالمحسنين فبمضاعفته الثواب لهم والزيادة لهم في الأجور. That subhanallah, when it comes to al-muhsinin, the believers, how is he good to them? The word al-bar, how is he good to them? He does so by, subhanallah, when it comes to their reward, he gives them their reward without any accountability. And subhanallah, in this life and in the hereafter. وبإعطائهم تبارك وتعالى من الكرامة فوق ما يطمحون فيه. He will give them even beyond. Yes, well, can you sit there and just try to conjure a picture in your head of what Al-Jannah will be like? Yeah, we hear descriptions in the Quran and the Sunnah, but can you really tangibly have an idea what Al-Jannah will be like? Well, let me, subhanAllah, to say it in the most simple ways, it'll be beyond your wildest dreams. Beyond, way beyond. سبحان الله فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. أوتي صلى الله عليه وسلم جوامع الكلم. He was the most eloquent And 3 sentences summed it up for us. Al-Jannah, in it, there is that which no eyes ever seen, no ears ever heard, and no heart, if you really translate the meaning of what he said, no heart of a son of Adam ever dared imagine. Try to imagine as much as you want. Go ahead. You will not get close, subhanAllah. So isn't Allah Ta'ala, subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did we do in this life? What can we possibly do in this life to deserve that? SubhanAllah, imagine you work for someone who, mashallah, is wealthy, and you serve him for a long time, and one day he says, I'm going to reward you, and mashallah, I have this nice 3-bedroom, this nice 4-bedroom, it's yours. Mashallah, imagine someone who doesn't have his own home, how he would feel. We're not talking about these brick and wood houses that we have here, especially in this county, Allah musta'an. Don't get me started on that. But subhanAllah, we're talking about a brick of gold and a brick of silver. And what's between them, what's holding them together is what? Al-misk. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine that? And we're talking about vast. We're not talking about, it's 1,200 square feet. You can't beat that. We're talking about thousands and hundreds of thousands. And not one you have by the thousands. And you have different continents that belong to you, not just different villages or a farm. We're talking about, and case in point, that subhanAllah, that servant, and he was said that he was the last one to serve his sentence in Jahannam, the last person of Jahannam to get out. Subhanallah. فيقال أن العاصي من الموحدين يعذب في جهنم كعمر الدنيا نعوذ بالله من ذلك. The عصاة, the worst of the ones that said La ilaha illallah, the worst one of them. He gets punished in the hellfire the same lifespan of the life of this world, of this earth. But then Allah Ta'ala gets him out of Jahannam. At least there's some light at the end of the tunnel. There is some good news. It's not something easy. 1 split second in Jahannam would not be easy. Remember the one that was taken and dipped in Jahannam, and he lived in bliss all his life? As the Prophet ﷺ said, dipped in Jahannam, was taken back out. Abdi, my servants, have you ever seen any enjoyment, any luxury in your life? وعزتك وجلالك أنا في الشقاء منذ أن خلقتني. By your might, O Allah, I've been in misery ever since you created me. This is something that somebody that spent, probably from the previous nations, that spent 200-300 years living, getting his way, living in luxury. All of that is forgotten. 1 dip in Jahannam. Na'udhu billahi. Imagine someone who stays there. Subhanaka umri dunya, the whole, like the whole span of the life of this world. Allah Ta'ala takes him out. He pours this water, the water of life, ma'ul hayah, on him. He is like charcoal, burned. Allah pours that on him, and he comes back to life. He looks back at the hellfire. Subhanalladhi najjani minki. Praise to the one that saved me from you. And he has given me that which he has given to nobody in all of al-alamin, the whole world. He thinks that he is in the best situation. Well, compared to the ones that stayed in Jahannam and the ones that have no chance of getting out, he is the lucky one. Of course he's going to say that. Then you know the story. He sees a subhanallah, tree with some water, and he says, Ya Allah, udnuni minha, Allah, get me close to it, and I would like to drink from the water and sit under the shade. And subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, I will do that if you promise not to ask me anything else. He said, Ya Allah, I will never ask you anything, just take me there. Allah puts him there, drinks the water, enjoys the shade. All of a sudden he sees another one that's bigger and better. This is the son of Adam. We're always looking for the BBD, the bigger, better deal. Subhanallah. He looked at the thing, he says, Ya Allah, please, just move me to this other tree. I want to enjoy the shade, drink the water. Subhanallah. Ma afdalak ya ibn Adam. Subhanallah. Yani, how disloyal you are. and treacherous you are, Ibn Adam. You just gave me promises and you already broke your promise. Allah Ta'ala moves him. And this happens two or three times until he sees what? The gate of Al-Jannah. And he hears the voices of what? The sounds of what? Al-Na'im, bliss. You can hear from the sounds, people are enjoying themselves. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم رأى ما لا صبر له عليه. He saw that which he had no patience over. He can't handle it. Oh Allah, just put me على بابها. Just put me on the gate. I don't want, that's it, just put me on the gate. So the point here from the hadith, subhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala makes him enter Jannah and says, would you be satisfied if I give you like the earth, like someone who owns the whole earth, the kingdom of the earth, وَمِثْلِهَا 5 times, and one like it and one like it, so having the earth multiplied by 5. And then he keeps going, وَمِثْلِهَا until the person says, Ya Allah, that's it. He's thinking this is getting out of hand, I won't be able to handle all of this is too much. Then Allah tells him, and then I will multiply that by 10. So the worst of the worst of this ummah that gets out of Jahannam after spending thousands of years in it, what does he get in Jannah? What does he get? Like this planet? Who will do the math? Multiply by 5, multiply by 10. Allahu Akbar. Imagine that. So I went through all this, and subhanAllah, he covered the rest of our time to tell you what? That it's not only a little property that you'll get, like some people, I'm not going to mention who this sect or denomination is, they say that when the Lord comes back, all of us are going to own. So one of them goes and they put Sears went out of business, sorry, he's out of luck. The guy that had Sears, he's out of luck. Walmart, I will own more. When the Lord comes back, I will own Walmart. So short-sighted. This is nothing. This is Allah Ta'ala created the life of this world and turned his back on it for good, because it's worth nothing to him. Very, very short-sighted, subhanAllah. But the Jannah we're talking about, and you have eternity in it, because a person could be thinking, well, this is a lot of distance. How much? It's a lot of distance. You know every corner of it. You can travel at any speed you want without getting tired. You can teleport from one place to another. Let's say I want to go to my place in Australia. Split second, you're there. And not only that, you find your family members there waiting for you. You find that this place that you know it, inch by inch. أدخلهم الجنة عرفها لهم. He made it known to them. Every inch of it is well known to you. You have complete health to enjoy it, and you have eternity to enjoy it, and every day is 1,000 years. What a deal, huh? Isn't that, ya ikhwa, worth a little bit of work? A little bit of sacrifice? SubhanAllah. Being steadfast with the worship of Allah Ta'ala. Working on our kids so they are good believers, so that when we are in our grave, they'll make dua for us, and Allah Ta'ala will accept that dua. Is it worth it? Allahumma na'am. It is well worth it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you and I the ability to do the work that will qualify us for the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala with His mercy will make you and I from the people of Al-Jannah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا.